Good day, everybody. This is Danny Weber. I am shooting a short video on how to run lease comps. Again, this is not going to be terribly comprehensive. It's going to be really quick, down and dirty, just so you can put your finger on a number that your property should be leasing at if you were looking at buying a property, or if you're going to look at leasing it out. And keep in mind that we have a property management company that we would love to lease your property. It's PM512. That's the Texas property manager at PM512. Shoot us an email at info@pm512 or call us at 512-337-9396 if you have any questions. Let's get going. The MLS we're using today is the Actress MLS, Austin Board of Realtors. It's, in my opinion, by far the best MLS out there. I haven't never seen a better product, so to speak, and I belong to probably 6 different MLSs in boards in Texas, and this is by far the best. So today the property we are going to focus on is 148 Raintree in Kyle. And so the first thing I like to do, this is one of my rental properties in Kyle, Texas, and the first thing I like to do is basically just bring up an old listing with MLS information, and for the purposes of this exercise I just did a quick snippet with the information. I had to black out a phone number here, but long story short, as you can see, the square footage, the year the house was built, and the number of beds and baths, and really I already know all this stuff, so but I usually do that first, and once I get that information, then I will put together some searches, and I've kind of gone ahead and pre-done these just to save some time. And so this is what a search criteria would look like, and I'm looking at everything from active to leased, and I like to look at least a year back because I like to gather a summer session in there to see what the pricing differential would be versus a winter lease. And then I've got it broken down per square footage. Again, I already know that everything in this neighborhood and that square footage is going to basically be a 2-story. And so when I'll pull this up, I've got the neighborhood circled out in Kyle, and again, some adjoining neighborhoods are Plum Creek, Spring Branch, and Silverado, and I wouldn't want to pull comps from any of these neighborhoods because they're all a little bit unique, a little bit different, so I'm going to stick with hometown Kyle. This is the data that we get. Not much to look at in this square footage, and one of the things that you want to pay attention to is the different years here. But why that doesn't matter too much is because there's a pretty tight range of lease prices here, and there's one outlier with days on market, continuous days on market, and so good, bad, or ugly, it's there. But if I look at everything else, it looks like a month or less, possibly 2 months, and you look at the time of year, that was in May. That's actually pretty recent. Same property year over year. So but if I had to just look at this data real quick, I would do a quick CMA, and this is what would pull up here, and this would give me my different averages, days on market, average price, and all that other stuff. And again, lease comps, not terribly technical. I can tell you right now, just by looking at this data, that a lease price between 1900 and 2000, maybe drop down to 18 something if you needed to, 1875 based on this one comp, but that's about where you're going to be at. But let's take a step back and change the criteria here. Let's say we took this criteria out and we just went wide open, because one of the other things I want to see in the scheme of things is how many active properties, what am I competing against, good, bad, ugly, small or larger. And so if we zoom in here, we don't see there's one active property here. It's active contingent, which means that it's got an application and it hasn't been fully approved, plus or minus. 1700 was on the market for 27 days and is 1200 square feet smaller than mine. So again, this reinforces the idea of 1875, 1900 to 2000, somewhere in that price range. If you wanted to get more rent per month, you could reduce the security deposit, and I like that handoff or switch off, because the security deposit, somebody can actually fight for, take you to court and get the money back, whereas the rents, they can't. So if you went 1950, 1975, 2000, whatever it may be, and you reduce your security deposit by, say, $200 or $300, whatever the balance is, It's a little bit easier for somebody to get into the property, and you're collecting rents versus security deposit, which at some point could be refundable. So the other thing that you would want to do is charge pet rents, $10 per month, do a non-refundable security deposit on pets. If they want you to include lawn maintenance, find somebody to do the lawn maintenance and mark it up some, if that's the case. If they want a washer and dryer, buy a washer and dryer, cheaper, nice but cheaper washer and dryer, and mark that up, and the rental price on that, and keep that. And there's a bunch of stuff you can do to increase your overall rents, but we're really focusing on compensating, not maximizing rental income. So let's keep looking at this. And so once we get these two different sets of comps here, which is going to be one on the big data, which is going to include the active all size properties, and one on the more tight range of data, we're basically going to know what we can lease this thing for. The only other variables that I would keep in mind is, for instance, on some of these properties, and let's go back to the tighter range of data, maybe one of these properties has a pool, maybe one of them has a just crazy awesome back patio, maybe one of them has a huge lot that would skew the price, maybe one of them's been updated completely. 2005 is 15 years ago, so if one of them's been rehabbed and it's got new carpet, paint, countertops, cabinets, whatever it may be, then that could be catching a premium. But in reality, looking at this, I think this is just a very easy comp to run, not terribly deep. Again, if you're looking for property management and you're looking for us to do this for you, check us out at PM512. We also I have a construction company, the TexasBuilder.com, if you want to look that up for sure. And then if you are interested in more real estate education, you can go to patreon.com/Danny Weber, and this is my Patreon page, and we focus on health, wealth, and happiness, primarily through real estate, and there's different tiers that you can join. And the different tiers have different things available to them. There's a bunch of videos, uploads, presentations, documents. We talk about mortgage wraps, loan assumptions, traditional, conventional purchase, buy and holds, BRRR strategies, property management. I even have some videos down at the very bottom that are on construction topics. So how do you do this? How do you do that? When you get down to the bottom of this. And so tons of forms, promulgated forms that you can use, and it's a great channel, and it's really inexpensive. You can become a patron for $5, $10, or $25 per month. And the $25 per month, the big difference here is that you can do live Q&A and chat sessions with me. You can look at the price per day, 33 cents per day for actual real content, real estate content for the Central Texas area. I don't think it's beatable. I think it's a great price. Then this is the real estate website, where if you're looking to buy or sell properties in Central Texas, we can definitely help you out with that. And then if you're on Bigger Pockets, friend me up on Bigger Pockets, friend me up on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter. If you, I do the same thing here. I put out a lot of content on Twitter and on the Patreon, and some blurbs on Facebook as well. So lots of ways to talk, lots of ways to continue your education. If you have any other questions, certainly feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And that's about it, guys. Real quick and simple on 3,100 square foot comp in Kyle. My list price, my initial list price should be between $1,900 and $2,000. I'd probably start a little bit high and just come down and maybe offer some incentives to keep the higher rent prices versus the higher security deposits. That's about it. Look forward to hearing from you again soon. This is Danny Weber, a broker here in Austin, Texas. Thanks.